All right, please be seated. On the matter of State versus Weld-Ebanks, is everyone ready?
Yes, sir.
All right. I'll ask the defendant if you'll stand and be sworn in. If you'll raise your right hand, swear you. All right, very well. General Anderson.
Your Honor, Mr. Weld-Ebanks is charged with a 3-count indictment, vehicular homicide by reckless conduct, count 1, reckless endangerment of a deadly weapon being a motor vehicle, counts 2 and 3. We have reached a resolution on this case in which he will plead guilty pursuant to judicial diversion to count 1, vehicular homicide by reckless conduct. He will receive a range 1 3-year sentence that will be suspended, all that for 30 days to serve, and he will report this Monday, June 1st, to serve that. Remainder on supervised probation, and counts 2 and 3 will be dismissed. Your Honor, this plea stems from an incident on Friday, 14th of June, 2019. There was a fatality on I-40 and I-24 at the split in Davidson County. Police found a maroon Nissan Frontier pickup truck on the right shoulder and had severe rear end damage. There was a black Audi sitting sideways in the left lane of I-40 and it had heavy front end damage. The driver of the Nissan, Matthew Kenigson, was found deceased still in the driver's seat. The defendant was identified as the driver of the Audi. There were several witnesses to this crash. They described seeing the Nissan backing up at the Gore area at the split and seeing the defendant traveling at speeds many witnesses estimated at well over 100 miles per hour, passing vehicles and swerving and cutting all the way from right to left into the Nissan, causing the crash. Based on those facts, Your Honor, we recommend the previously announced disposition.
All right, very well. Mr. Chair, if you and your client want to come up to the podium.
Yes, sir.
And I don't mind you talking if you need to, but if you'll just kind of maintain a social distancing norm of 6 feet. And Mr. Chair, you heard the announcement. Is that your understanding of the agreement in the case?
It is, Your Honor.
And is it Weld-Ebanks?
Danny Weld-Ebanks, Your Honor.
I'm sorry?
Danny Weld-Ebanks, Your Honor.
Weld-Ebanks. Thank you. Sir, you heard the announcement of the state as to the agreement in the case.
Yes, Your Honor.
Is that your understanding of what you're doing today?
Yes, Your Honor.
The state also announced facts that they would rely on if this case went to trial. Do you agree or concede that those facts are essentially true and correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
And do you agree that those facts do form a factual basis for your diversion plea here today?
Yes, Your Honor.
You're entering this plea pursuant to 40-35-313, which is Tennessee's diversion statute. Did you talk to your lawyer about what diversion means and what it is?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, you understand that it's a conditional plea that was going to be held by the court until the end of that diversion period, that if you were to violate the terms of your diversion, that the guilty plea could be entered, and this could be a permanent conviction on your record at that point. Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
If that was a permanent conviction entered on your record, you understand that any future cases could be made worse, or punishment could be made worse by a conviction if that were to happen. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
You also have quite a few rights. I'm going to go through those with you. Make sure you understand not only what rights you have, but more importantly, perhaps, is understand that by entering this plea today, that you are waiving those rights. You have a right in this case to persist in a plea of not guilty. If you persisted in a plea of not guilty, you'd have a right to a public and speedy trial. That trial would be with a jury. Just like today, you'd have a right to have a lawyer represent you at that jury trial and at all stages in between now and that trial. At a trial, you'd have a right to confront and cross-examine any witnesses the state put up against you. You would have a right to use the power and process of the court to do two things. The first is to compel the production of any evidence that you might could use in your defense. And the second is to compel the attendance of any witness who you might want to call to testify on your behalf at that trial. Additionally, sir, at a jury trial, you would have a right to remain silent. That silence could not be used against you for any purpose whatsoever. Further, at a jury trial, you'd have a right to have any fine in excess of $50 set by a jury. If at the conclusion of that trial you were found guilty, you would have a right to petition the court for a new trial. If that request or petition was denied, then you would have a right to appeal your conviction to a higher court for review. You understand you have all those rights, that by entering this plea, you're waiving them.
Yes, Your Honor.
Is that what you want to do today?
Yes, Your Honor.
You understand there'll be no jury trial, there'll be no appeal in this case, and these are diversion pleas, but again, should you violate diversion for any reason, that those could be permanent convictions on your record.
Yes, Your Honor.
Let's see, do you have the paperwork?
Yes, sir.
All right, if you'll pass that up. All right. Have you gone over with your lawyer what the state would have to prove for you to be found guilty of the offenses with which you're charged?
Yes, Your Honor.
You're charged in this case, count 1 with vehicular homicide by reckless conduct, count 2 reckless endangerment, count 3 reckless endangerment. Those are all Class C felonies. You understand that the range of punishments in each of those is 3 to 6 years as a range 1 standard offender and a fine of up to $10,000.
Yes,
You
Your Honor.
understand that?
Yes, Your
All right, sir, you've gone over with your lawyer the fact that you're pleading guilty as a diversion plea to count 1, and it carries that same punishment. You understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
I have before me a petition to enter a plea of guilty. Did you read this, go over this with your lawyer, or a combination of the two?
Yes, I have, Your Honor.
And did you sign the back page of that petition?
Yes, Your Honor.
And do you have any questions at all about any of the information contained in your petition to enter a plea of guilty?
No, Your Honor.
If you do, you're welcome to ask either the court or I will give you time to ask your lawyer. Has anyone forced you into entering this plea today?
No, Your Honor.
Has anyone made you any promises other than what might be contained in the plea agreement?
No, Your Honor.
And are you entering this plea freely and voluntarily?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you Danny Weld-Ebanks?
Yes, Your Honor.
And what is your date of birth?
October 4th, 1995.
And what are the last 4 digits of your social security number?
2696, Your Honor.
Mr. Weld-Ebanks, in case number 2019 C2194, count 1 to the offense of vehicular homicide by reckless conduct, how do you plead?
Guilty, Your Honor.
All right, sir, although you've entered a plea of guilty, I am going to instead place you on diversion today. I'm not going to accept the plea because it is based on 4035-313. I'm going to place you on a period of diversion for 3 years, beginning today's date, 5/27/2020. That will end May 27, 2023. It will be supervised by state probation, and you're ordered to serve 30 days, and I think you're going to report to that Monday. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
And that'll be reporting to the Davidson County Jail. Based on your plea in count 1, counts 2 and 3 will be dismissed. Mr. Cherry, anything else?
Judge, if I may.
All right.
Mr. Weld-Ebanks, this case came about by a direct presentment to the grand jury in September of 2019. Is that your recollection?
Yes.
And you came to visit me directly after you were served with that indictment. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And you retained our firm to represent you at that time.
Yes, sir.
And during the course of this case, we've had an opportunity to receive the discovery, that is the evidence that the state would present against you should we have gone to trial in this case. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
And we've been able to meet in my office. You've driven from Clarksville on multiple occasions, and we've met and gone through that evidence. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
And I've had the opportunity to speak not only to the lawyers at the JAG Corps, but also to your command staff about the facts and circumstances surrounding these events. Is that true?
Yes, sir.
And prior to today and prior to you signing this plea agreement today, we've talked about the plea agreement. And in fact, you read the plea agreement well in advance of seeing it today for your signature. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And this is what you want to do. This is what your decision is. Is that true?
Yes, sir.
And prior to ever even negotiating this plea agreement, you had drafted a letter of what I would call condolence and apology, a letter of sympathy to the Jones family. Is that true?
Yes, sir.
And I would not allow you at that time to present that letter to the state in order to give it to Ms. Jones. But I, in fact, asked you to hold that until today. Is that true?
Yes, sir.
And with your permission, I'll now present this to the Assistant District Attorney to present to Ms. Jones and her daughter. Is that permissible?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Weld-Ebanks, one other thing I want to go over. I have before me a waiver of venue. This case has taken a few twists and turns as far as scheduling a place to conduct this change of plea hearing. But you understand you have a right to have your case heard in Davidson County, Tennessee. But this waiver of venue waives that so that the court from the 16th Judicial District in Rutherford County can hear the case in Montgomery County. Did you read and sign this and you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, very well. Anything further from the state?
Your Honor, with the court's indulgence, I believe there are two family members that would like to make a statement to the court.
All right, Mr. Chair, if y'all want to
You'd have us come back? Yes, Your Honor.
have a seat.
There are Mr. Kenigson's mother, Judith Kenigson Christie.
All right, very well.
And where should she?
She can come to the podium. That's fine.
Would you have us to stand or would you like us to be seated?
You can be seated.
Mr. Weld-Ebanks, I want you to see this photograph. This is the man you killed. This is the joy that you took away from the world. I want you to hear a couple of things from a grieving mother. Number one, that if people are telling you, oh, it's an accident, how awful. Not an accident, Danny. There's nothing accidental about a person who speeds over and over again. Maybe the one time, but after that you speed it again. You got arrested twice. I don't know how many times you did it without getting caught. But that is just leading to another incident like this. You want your mother to be like me, crying every day. Is that what you want? Someone's mother, your mother, other people's mother are going to be crying if you keep this up. You must change. I hope your time in jail gives you time to meditate on that. The other thing I want to say to you is that I hope that, like my son, you find something in your life to live for, something that makes you want to get up in the morning and care about other people. He had founded a makerspace, which is a place where people can go and make things. He had worked with people in Africa to give education to children who have no schools because of war and Ebola. He had done a lot of things for other people. He cared. Find something in your life to care about. Something that makes you stop being reckless. A killer on the road.
Thank you, Your Honor. Linda Jones, the wife of Mr. Kenigson.
Thank you. Your Honor, may I lay these photographs on the table?
Well, if you can hold them, I don't mind you holding them up.
Okay. This was Ellie at her Montessori preschool graduation. And she is not going to have her father at her high school graduation or her college graduation. And I hope one day you marry and have a family and you know the joy of having a family. This was a Father's Day fishing tournament 6 years ago. She caught 4 fish. She was so happy. She loves to fish. She's not going to have this big, loud, happy guy who's very caring to do that with anymore. This was her 8th grade graduation ceremony, and you could see she grew into a beautiful young lady. And she's a very good, sweet person. She's very thoughtful. And what I would like for you to do, if you will just slow down and have a very productive, successful life, that would make us very happy. We don't wish you any pain as far as jail and criminal convictions and all these sorts of things. But please do some good in the world. That's all we want you to do. And thank you for this letter.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Anything else? Anything else from the state?
No, Your Honor.
Sherry, anything else? All right, I think probation is here. Okay, so let's see. So he'll need, I guess, need to meet with them.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. If there's nothing else, then we'll be adjourned.
Thank you, Your Honor.